Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12.
News at 12.
In the local scene, women with disabilities gathered at the Governor's Guest House on March 30 for Women with Disabilities Day, organized by the Albay Provincial Government. The program, conducted with the Department of Social Welfare and Development Region 5 and Field Health, marks the culmination of the province's National Women's Month celebration. About 60 participants from Albay and nearby provinces, including Masbate and Sorsogon, attended the event. Attendees received assistance in registering for the Field Health Yakap or Yaman ng Kalusugan program to improve healthcare access. The program also featured discussions on empowerment and leadership to encourage greater participation of women with disabilities and community development. Organizers said the initiative strengthens support systems and opportunities for women with disabilities in the region. In other story, the Albay Provincial Agricultural Office was named the most supported provincial local government unit during the 11th National Volunteers Day awarding ceremony on March 26 in Parañaque. The Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries recognized Albay at the provincial level during the event held at Sequoia Hotel. OIC Provincial Agriculturist Daryl John O. Buen Consejo said the province ranked first nationwide for its agricultural initiatives and support programs. The recognition highlights the provincial government's efforts to strengthen support for local farmers and advance agricultural development in Albay. In other news, a student organization from SJCC staged Sinakulo, the musical 2026, on March 28 at the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish grounds in Malilipot, Albay. The program opened with a doxology and a message from SJCC College Administrator, Attorney Ronnie B. Blanza. The production depicted the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ through music and stage performance, encouraging reflection among the audience. Supported by the provincial government of Albay, the free event drew residents and visitors to witness a cultural and religious presentation led by the youth. In the national scene, Senior Citizens Party List Representative Rodolfo Ompong Ordanes called on President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., asking the government to extend payment relief on loans for public utility vehicle and transportation network vehicle service operators from April to June. Ordanes said that many transport operators are facing severe financial strain due to the rising oil prices, making current earnings insufficient to meet their debt obligation. He urged the Development Bank of the Philippines and the Land Bank of the Philippines to consider deferment or restructuring of loan payments for operators during the 3-month period. He also called on the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas to allow regulatory flexibility so that banks can grant similar relief to fisher folks, farmers, small retailers, tourism enterprises, and ask the Energy Regulatory Commission to direct the distribution of utilities to suspend disconnection notices and allow installment arrangements for unpaid electricity bills. Ordanes said Holy Week and Easter reminds people about compassion and solidarity, noting that financial institutions and key sectors should respond with understanding and provide meaningful relief to those who need it most. In other story, The Ninoy Aquino International Airport may still experience a surge in travelers during this Holy Week period, despite upward pressure on airline tickets caused by the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. According to airport's private operator, passenger volume at NAIA is projected to reach 1.35 million from March 28 to April 5, is slightly higher than the 1.33 million recorded last year, but lower than earlier projections due to flight suspensions and operating restrictions affecting some Middle East routes. NNIC said that daily passenger volumes could exceed 143,000, with April 5 expected as the busiest day at 158,884 passengers, followed by 157,804 on March 28. NNIC also advised passengers to check flight advisories and arrive early at the airport. In other news, the Social Security System SSS is considering a moratorium on loan payments and a condonation program for employers amid economic challenges. SSS President Robert Joseph DeClaro said that the proposed measures aim to provide immediate relief to its members and employers facing financial difficulties. DeClaro said that the agency is conducting reviews and consultations to ensure fast implementation while protecting the sustainability of the SSS fund. He added that the SSS is also studying the extension of contribution payment deadlines and improving digital processes to ease compliance. According to the agency, the final details will be announced through official channels as the country contends with rising oil prices and global conflict. And in the news outside the country, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that he ordered the military to expand operations in southern Lebanon amid continued rocket fire from Hezbollah. Netanyahu said the move would extend an existing security zone near the border to prevent attacks and push back anti-tank missile threats, though details remain unclear. The escalation follows recent airstrikes by Israel and the United States on Iran, which prompted Iran-backed Hezbollah to launch rocket attacks into Israel. Netanyahu said the operation is part of a broader multi-front campaign against Iran and its allies, vowing to change the security situation along Israel's northern border. In other story, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that he discussed a security partnership with Jordan's King Abdullah to counter drone threats amid Middle East tensions. President Zelensky said that the talks focused on sharing Ukraine's air defense expertise and drone technology to help protect people and critical infrastructure. Kiev is seeking support from Gulf states for its war against Russia as Western military aid faces uncertainty and the country struggles to fund defense and domestic weapons production. Ukraine recently agreed to defense cooperation with the United Arab Emirates and Qatar following Zelensky's visit, which also included Saudi Arabia. According to President Zelensky, Kiev expects that partnership and knowledge sharing will help strengthen Ukraine while providing regional partners with effective protection against Iranian-style drone attacks. And finally, in the news outside the country, with reference to the Philippines, 338 Filipinos, including overseas workers, their family members, and the stranded nationals arrived safely in the country on Sunday aboard the government's 6th chartered repatriation flight from the United Arab Emirates. The flight landed at Villamor Air Base in Pasig City, and returners were received by officials from multiple government agencies, including the Department of Migrant Workers, Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, and the Department of Foreign Affairs. Upon arrival, the returners were provided with financial assistance, medical services, transportation support, and temporary shelter while in Metro Manila. The 203 were overseas Filipino workers, 125 were family members, and 10 were stranded Filipinos, bringing the total number of repatriated individuals from the Middle East to 3,248. Officials said that the repatriation efforts carried out under the directive of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. continue amid escalating tensions in the Middle East, with authorities vowing to ensure the safe return and reintegration of affected Filipinos. That's the news at 12, March 31, 2026. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our news writers, Naomi Ruth Hernandez, Rose Muhamitano, and LJ Lurejo. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis. And our Provincial Information Office OIC, Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor, Noel Irusal. I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing. Albay in my heart.